If you're passing through Russia's Tver region, you really can walk on the wild side. Thousands of kilometers of unspoilt countryside make up an area where it's still possible to live off the land. And enterprising locals sell the fruits of the forest by the side of nearly every road. Such spectacular scenery makes it a paradise for fishermen and provides a business opportunity for hunters. Gennady has been hunting for more than 30 years and works for a company providing expeditions for tourists. This season, ducks are on the menu.
The two things a successful duck hunter needs are patience, but above all, silence, which means that I need to be very quiet if I'm not going to frighten the birds or put Gennady off his feet.
But when you've been in the business as long as he has, the birds don't stand much chance. Traditional low-volume hunting methods like these don't damage the wildlife population, but large numbers of careless visitors are putting the industry under threat.
Tourists drive water scooters and water skis here, which can destroy the ducks' nests and hinder fish spawning. We all have to abide by the rules.
Poaching is also a problem. There are defined hunting seasons in Russia, but lax enforcement means many animals are killed out of the allotted times, which can leave young animals orphaned and unable to survive. But environmentalists are fighting back, and hundreds of kilometers to the west of the region there are two very special projects, both battling to secure the futures of the country's most recognizable animals. The heart of Chisty Les Forest provides a sanctuary for the most famous beast in Russia. It's home to a group who rescue orphaned bear cubs and raise them. When they're old enough to fend for themselves, the cubs are tagged, taken to a remote location, and released back into the wild. But it's not just bears who find a haven here. This is Wolf Island. Here, wolf pups who've been captured by hunters or bought from zoos have a second chance at life, and conservationists have a unique opportunity to observe them. Vladimir Bologov has lived with and looked after the wolves here for more than 10 years. They're still considered vermin in Russia and can be hunted all year round. It's part of his job to try and change people's perception.
They are not dangerous. I mean, they don't harm the people, so we probably can be more tolerant to wolves, and wolves is a part of nature, so it's really interesting subjects for observation, for studies, for knowledge.
And he has some passionate helpers. Letitia and her faithful companion have come all the way from France to join the project, and she has memories to last a lifetime.
I remember one best moment with the pups of last year, because usually I let them communicate between them, and I don't go into this, but last year, I don't know, they were whimpering, so I started to whimper, and then it was louder and louder, and then it finished in howling, and it's the way it was maybe the first time I howled, but I howled with them, and just...
And she's equally close to this year's pups, but the rest of us had to keep our distance and wait. And then they appeared. These wolves are all around 4 months old, and they'll stay in this area for up to 3 years. Then most will go back to the wild for good. Just viewing them from the car was an experience in itself. But then, after a bit of a bumpy ride, came an opportunity I just couldn't pass up.
Now this is what I was hoping for when I heard I was coming to a place called Wolf Island. A chance to get up close and personal with the locals. And it's these guys who are going to act as foster parents for the next generation of wolves who come here.
Using the older wolves as surrogate parents has already proved a successful technique.
Every year I place infant wolves with 1-year-old wolf cubs whose parental instinct is totally shaped, and they take them as their own cubs.
It's an important part of the wolves' development, and a major factor in the success of a project which has seen more than 20 generations of cubs grow up here. It's going to continue to take time and money to rehabilitate the wolf's reputation in Russia. But the keepers here hope their research and dedication will mean that Wolf Island remains a place where visitors can truly understand the call of the wild. James Brown, Russia Today, Tver region.